29 minutes after the hour, and this is the Coach's Corner with Coach Adam Fossett of the B.B. Comer Tigers this morning. As B.B. Comer, again, over 50 points. You know things are going well when at B.B. Comer we kick a field goal, which we did last week.
No doubt. We kicked a 29-yarder. So Noah put it through the uprights right as time ran out before halftime, and that put us at 43 points on the half. So it was a successful first half, and it was a fast start, so that's what we were looking for. You
had been looking for a complete game from your Tiger team. Where were we as far as the four quarters last week?
Hey, we're getting there. I thought our start was very key, and how we started fast, we scored fast, and were able to put points up in the first half. So I thought that was a key element to what we're looking for. Got a little sloppy in the second half, but stuff that we can clean up and work on as we move ahead.
The game got a little sloppy in more ways than just the plays and that kind of stuff. As the lights went out in Winterboro right after the game too, didn't it?
Yeah. Right after the alma mater, it went pitch black. So it was a unique situation, but we made it through it. It was really neat to see our fans, our players, and everybody kind of come together and work together to make it happen. So the little flashlights on the cell phones helped out a ton, and hopefully we got everybody out of there unscathed. I think we had a few people that fell, and maybe one band member that was injured, but other than that, I think we got through that and we're okay, and we got the kids back on the bus and got home.
Talk about some players who played well last Friday.
Defensively, I thought John Murphy played very well. It's we've been waiting for him to I tell him to stop thinking and just play, but kind of waiting for him to just play ball, and he did that. And that's carried over to this week too, as far as just his preparation for the game. So I saw him Tuesday, and he had like a sheet of paper, and he was going to see Coach Hale. I said, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, these are all my notes. I've been watching film." And I was like, "Well, that's impressive, to know." And then yesterday at practice, based on formation, he's already calling out the possible plays that they run out of those formations and things like that. And he was probably right 90% of the time when he called it out. So. I think John's really stepping up and playing well, playing to the level that he can play. Very, very proud of DeLeon Welch to come in, and Kamor Harris didn't play last week. We moved Dede to tailback. He comes in, rushes for over 100 yards, and gets 2 touchdowns.
Could Harris have played if needed?
He could have. He would have been probably 80-85%, but it wasn't. It just wasn't worth putting him at risk. For that time, so he's 100%, and now we look at it as we've got 2 guys back there that can take reps and give each other breaks too. So both of them play on both sides of the ball, and we talk about getting further into the season. You talk about the depth of things. We're looking very promising in the backfield because we can give. If Dede continues to improve and run like he did last Friday, and Kamor continues to do what he does, those guys can give each other a break and they can rest for defense. Our offensive line play, all our offensive line's healthy again. Chris Wilson's back. He's got his ankle is back to 100%. He's looking good. And punting the ball well again, that was a fear we had with not having him too, is you lose probably the best punter in this area. He's pretty good. So we got those guys back. Omari Wells has stepped up and played. Drew Hallman can play anywhere on the offensive line. He can play tight end. He can play fullback. Drew scored a touchdown last week, which was comical watching him kind of plow his way down the sideline, but he scored a touchdown, well deserved by him. And then Chris Garrett, Chris Garrett started out in the backfield for us, and we moved him to a slot receiver. And last Friday was his birthday, and he celebrated big with 3 touchdowns.
Wow, that's fantastic. B.B. Comer with an easy win over Winterboro. 168 games points-wise in the last 3 games or so?
168 points in 3 games. Yep.
That's ringing up the scoreboard.
It is. I'll tell you, offensively, I feel like we're clicking. I feel like we're headed in the right direction with where we need to be. And Coach Pike and Coach Strickland do a good job week in and week out of game planning and hey, what can we do? What can we do off of these plays that doesn't change our rules? It doesn't change a whole lot, but gives us a better opportunity to win. And as I've had to kind of relax a little bit on the play calls as far as hey, let's take more chances, and that's what we've done. You know, I'm a little more conservative than Coach Pike is, but he makes some really good calls for us and does a good job for us. And I think the more games we play and the more in sync we get with our play calling, with our abilities, with our capability, as well as what our quarterbacks can do.
Talk a little bit about Carmichael. A couple of weeks ago, he was impressive throwing the football, and you're going to need him down the stretch for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. So I think that's probably our biggest advantage this year is we're not a one-dimensional team. So we're sitting in a good spot right now at 4-2, going back into region play. Ideally, you know, you want to win out and at least secure the number 2 seed and play at home in the first round, and a lot of that has to do with the competitiveness and the leadership of Devontae and what he does. And he's already thrown for more yards than he did all last season, more touchdowns than he did all last season. So man, he's really, it's kind of like a new start for him and a new spirit, and seeing him and the energy he has. And you know, he has the freedoms. He did this last week. He has the freedoms if he sees something to make a change. And we called a play last week, and him and his brother Richard, they communicated something, and Richard runs a completely different route, and they connect on it. So you know, we do give them the freedoms to, hey, just be a ball player. Mm-hmm. And he likes that, and he likes the fact that we trust in him to do that. So and then what he gives you on both sides of the ball. You know, he plays quarterback. There's not a lot of time to make adjustments because he's going to turn around and play defense too. So but he does a good job, and man, I'm very, very pleased with how he's grown and the relationship that he's developed with Coach Pike and moving forward.
A rare Thursday night game this week due to race weekend, and Horseshoe Bend comes to town, and they bring an offense as kind of one that you haven't seen a whole lot of in recent years.
Yeah, no doubt. They do something different than everybody else in the region does. They're going to run some double wing stuff, some single wing. They'll try and run a little Notre Dame box, and they're just trying to get numbers. They're trying to get numbers to the edge and outnumber you. And because it's something that we haven't seen, something that you don't practice all season, it does raise a concern. You know, we still have our rules in place, and that helps our guys as far as lining up and things like that. But it's going to be important to get a fast start again. You know, one thing that will take them out of their element is to get a lead, and you know, if we can score and get 2 scores, maybe 3 scores ahead, that takes them out of what they do, and then they've got to kind of change what they do. So hopefully that's what we can accomplish. You know, defensively they get after it too. They run a 4-3, and we've played odd fronts for the past 3 weeks too. So now we're going to face an even front. We've been practicing that, and you know, I think we've had a good week of practice, and I think we're ready to go. So. The short week always scares you a little bit with it being a short week, and Horseshoe Bend was off last week, so you know, Coach Phillips, I think he requested film like a week ago Tuesday, so he's had a while to prepare for us and get ready for us, and I'm sure that they're all healed and rested because they did have a week off. So
big region game for you tonight.
No doubt, back in the region play, a big region game. A chance to get a third region win, and continue to try and stay in that top tier. So a lot of big region games tonight, I think, or this week, and I think the region's going to kind of start clearing itself up because Ranburne and Lafayette play tonight, Fayetteville and Randolph County play. So it's going to start kind of clearing itself up and seeing where everybody is. I know Vincent has to go to Lynette, so hopefully it settles all out and we can see where it ends up. But the best thing for us to do is continue to win ball games and control what we can control.
Coach Adam Fossett, the head football coach and athletic director at B.B. Comer High School, our guest this morning, set for tonight's Horseshoe Bend battle. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff. And speaking of kicks, what a huge advantage for B.B. Comer to be doing so well in the kicking game, which was something that you didn't really see coming into fall camp.
No doubt, yeah. It's been, to not have to worry about, hey, what is your 2-point play going to be? If you don't get this one and they score, they have a kicker and it's 7-6, and then you got to get the next one. And so for us to be able to have that advantage is huge. And Noah's done a great job with it. I tell him all the time, he's a true kicker. I tell him he's a weird bird sometimes, and he just laughs at me. But he does a great job. We're on him about kickoffs right now, just being consistent in kickoffs. He'll kick a great, during kickoff, he'll kick a great ball, and then we come back and kick off again, and he'll hit a knuckleball or it'll go out of bounds or whatever. So trying to work with him on that and get him better at that so he can be the full-time kickoff guy too. So trying to find if there's any historians, any Comer athletic historians out there. We're trying to find out the last time B.B. Comer kicked a field goal. So he keeps telling me it was 18 years ago, but I said, well, where did you find that? He's like, that's just what I heard. So, but it was neat, man. It was, and the excitement from everybody else. Like we lined up to kick the field goal last week, and the coaches in the headset were like, Coach, are you sure you want to do this? Like, and he didn't do very well during warm-ups and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, why not? Let's give him a shot. It's not, it's not a tight game at this point. It's not, we're too far out. There was like 2.5 or 6 seconds left, something like that. So I knew once the ball was snapped and kicked, it would go into halftime anyway. So that wouldn't be an issue. And he split the uprights, and everybody was excited. And it's just good. It's good morale for the team too, and it's a lot of pressure off the team's back.
No doubt about it.
Whether they realize it or not, it is.
Yeah. Speaking of the team, this team feeds off the crowd excitement, and we want a lot of fans at Legion Stadium tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. We need as many people as we can to be there, and man, just the noise and the cowbells and the whatever else is noisemaker wise. Those kids feed off of it. They feed off the noise of the band and people just getting excited. And last week the crowd got loud and it just fuels our guys. So. And it's also senior night tonight, so we get a chance to honor our seniors before the game and their families. And that presentation starts at 6:25. And this senior bunch is this is my first bunch. So I've had these guys for 4 years, and we talked about. I talked to one of them yesterday, and we were just we were figuring up records and what possible records could be, and this group could possibly graduate with a winning record and a 4-year,
which was unthought of a couple of years ago.
Right, and that's huge for them. That's again, high school football is about the memories and all the stories that you get to tell, and the class reunion where you get to reminisce, and for those guys to be able to come back and say, hey, we went to the playoffs 3 times. We had a winning record. We did this, we did that. So. This graduating class has a lot to brag about as far as athletics goes.
When you came to B.B. Comer High School, they'd had some rough years. They had some tradition earlier with tremendous football teams and great athletes, but it had been in a lull. you take over. What has been the difference in the time that you've been there in the previous 10 to 12 years?
I can't really speak for the previous 10 to 12 years. I think the difference now is that we want to be there, and we're there. We're embedded there. I've got roots there, and it helps to have a great coaching staff, and my coaching staff wants to be there, and that's across the board. That's all sports. It's not just football. All of my coaches want to be there. They truly care about the kids, and some days the kids are they don't like us as much as other days, but we also have high expectations, mm-hmm. and I think the high expectations has led the athletes to work harder and to want to be better. And I'll never forget the first meeting that we had, and I just explained to them that my expectations are high, and I expect to be a competitive team. I expect to be physical. I expect to make playoff runs, and I expect us to work hard. And they bought into that, and it's all about the buy-in of it. It's not a special potion, or it's not I don't have a wand to wave over them or anything like that. It's the fact that they have bought in, they wanted to change, and they wanted to have some success.
All right, 7 o'clock kick tonight. B.B. Comer at Legion Stadium hosting Horseshoe Bend Senior Night for the Tigers. Coach, good luck, and let's talk about another W next week.
Yes, sir.
Coach Adam Fossett, the head football coach and athletic director at B.B. Comer High School. More Daybreak after this.